to you about negative space methods in life drawing or figure-based compositions. Now, positive space is the part of the composition that corresponds to the figure, and negative space is the part corresponding to the background. Now, why is understanding positive and negative space so important in drawing? It's an essential component for composition, which is really essential and important in creating a strong drawing. Negative space helps define and identify focal point. Negative space helps us to focus on the main subject, while positive shape gives our eye a place to rest. Understanding this positive-negative interplay also helps create a sense of balance and rhythm. Now, because we're focusing on figure, I thought we could look at Robert Longo's Men in the Cities series. The Men in the Cities series were a set of large drawings done in the 1980s of business people frozen in mid-movement. Now, most of these figures appear to be in mid-dance move, and the drawings are dramatic and dynamic. Robert Longo found inspiration in neo-noir cinema and performance posing from punk and rock music videos of that era. The positive shapes represented by the clothed torsos anchor the heads and limbs of the figures, jutting out in various degrees of graceful and awkward, surrounded by white space void. If you start the drawing with negative space, you will often be able to get the figure in position on the page with substantial tracks of it in proportion very early on in the drawing. This is incredibly helpful. So drawing the negative space instead of the positive space is a good way to prevent your ideas from a particular structure from getting in the way. Once you've established shape and space, go back and explore other elements like line. So I just want to really quickly explain that I'm using myself as reference. And when you are drawing in a life drawing class or figure-based class, it's most often or not with the unclothed or the nude figure. And I'm not going to have nude reference photos in this video, just for all ages availability for this video. But know that you can use these techniques, concepts, and skills in your everyday figure drawing class. You would just approach the background of the figure in the same way that I'm doing with all of the clothing in my black and white photo references. Okay, so let's look at this photo reference. So we're gonna zoom in on this foot here, and I've simplified the photograph and made it just black and white. And if we look at the foot as just a shape, we'll see it as a positive shape, and everything around it is the negative space. Now, in our drawing, if we look at all of the black in this photo in particular, and as our negative space, and we focus on drawing that first and getting the shape correct, then we can go back in and really focus on the positive shape of the foot later. This can help us in establishing a really strong composition and a better sense of proportion and correctness in our figure drawing right away. Okay, so let's break down this process. So I'm looking at my photo reference and I'm seeing the black clothes and the dark shadows, and I'm going to establish those shapes as a whole right away. Doing this is going to help me with the accuracy of the drawing in regards to the limbs and the head later on in my drawing process. Okay, so once you've established your first initial shape, then you can go back and forth with your line and shape presence and build up the figure drawing itself. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I build up my charcoal surface, and I get a really beautiful velvety, thick shape in my figure drawings. Now, I like to use the eraser, and you can move the eraser around the charcoal surface and it's going to start to blend, and you're also going to get some charcoal on that eraser that you can use as your mark making method. You can use an eraser as a drawing tool as well. Another method to use is a brush. Once you have the charcoal down on the surface, you can move the powdery substance to create really beautiful mid-tones, and you can go back and forth with your eraser and with your brush and with your charcoal and really slowly build up your surface. Another way to make mark making or to establish line is to use your blending stub or your tortillon, and I use that a lot when cultivating hair. Don't forget about establishing your background as you build up your drawing. I like to use a cream just to keep it very monochromatic, but also establish a little difference within the composition. Okay, I hope breaking down these simple negative space method techniques and the application of building up a charcoal surface helps you in your figure drawing journey. Okay, until next time.